Namaste, friends. I'm Heather Wiest with Love, Serve, Inspire, and today I'll be guiding you through Playful Pincha, an all-levels slow flow. For today's practice, I highly recommend 2 yoga blocks, and if you do not have yoga blocks, a couple of thick books may work. Towards the end of class, we'll be using a bolster if you have a bolster and a blanket. If you don't, no worries. Halfway through our class as well, we'll be going to a wall with our mats. So just look around your room to see where a good wall would be for you to use. I'm here to guide you, but you are always your best teacher. So please listen to your body, stay safe, and have fun. We're going to begin today's practice in Hero's Pose, Virasana. So we're going to be using a block for that. If this does not work for your knees or any other part of your body, just find a nice, comfortable, cross-seated position. I'm going to take my block to where I can sit down on it, and then my knees are going to be bent, my toes are facing back. So again, you're going to see how this feels in your body. If you have a lot of flesh in the calf area, you can just pull that out towards the side if that feels better for your body. And just notice if this is going to work or not for you and adjust accordingly. We're going to begin with our eyes closed. We're going to take a couple deep breaths together. So nice deep inhale in and let it go through the mouth. Another deep inhale and long exhale out. I'm just working with this theme today of playfulness, of balancing our work and our play, our effort and our return to center, our activity with our rest. And just thinking about how you could be a little more playful in your life, adding a little more balance to that work. The definition of playful is to give or express pleasure and amusement, light-hearted. So where can you be a little more light-hearted today is my encouragement for you, finding that balance. And just setting a personal intention for yourself. It could be inviting in more play. It could be another positive affirmation, a prayer, or a deep heart longing. Just that, bringing that into your heart center, into your practice today. We're going to go ahead and softly open the eyes. We're going to come into alternate nostril breath. It's a perfect balancing breath, especially for this intention and this practice. So we're going to go ahead and lift the right hand up, and the peace sign fingers are going to come down. There's several ways of guiding Nadi Shodhana. I like to do the simple variation for myself, so feel free to take any other variation you know or practice yourself. We're going to go ahead and take the thumb and gently press the right nostril. We're going to inhale through the left nostril and exhale through the left nostril. You're going to go ahead and switch and take the left ring finger to the left nostril and inhale through the right, exhale through the right. We're going to go ahead and switch, bringing the thumb, closing off the right nostril, inhale through the left, exhale through the left. Continuing here with your rhythm, your pace, lengthening out the breath a little bit more, making it long and steady. Nadi Shodhana is wonderful for balancing the body and the mind. About 1 more minute in this breath technique, so feel free to close your eyes, relax through the shoulders, and settle in. Maybe noticing which side it's easier to breathe out of. A few more rounds here. Next time you exhale out through the right nostril, you'll release the technique. Bringing the hands to the thighs, keeping the eyes closed and breathing fully in and out through both nostrils now. Noticing how you can breathe a little more clear, feel a little more open and balanced. And then we'll gently open the eyes. If you have a block, you're going to grab it. If you don't, you're going to pretend you have a block between your hands. We're going to go ahead and take the hands on the outside edges of the block. We're going to start with the block on the knees, and we're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. So I want you to push the hands into the block. Externally rotate through the upper arms, so try to really engage the triceps here. And then notice what happens to the spine and through the front ribs. We tend to arch back a little bit. So I want you to draw those front ribs in and then lengthen through the back of the neck. So find length and space in the spine. And then as you exhale, we're going to go ahead and bring that block back down, but still press into it. We're going to do 2 more rounds like that. Inhaling the arms up and overhead. Push, 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 push. Engage those arms. Notice what happens with the front body. Draw those front ribs together. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Bring length through your spine. And then exhale, bringing the block back down. 1 more full round with your breath. So we're going to inhale the block up. You're pushing into the block. Push, 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 push. Lots of effort here. Knit those front ribs together. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Super long spine, engaged arms. Exhale all the way down. Nice job. We're going to release our block. We're going to come out of Hero's Pose. We're going to be taking one of the blocks and we're going to place it behind us on the mat. We're going to do a few crunches just to begin to activate the core. As we work on the spine, we want to keep our core nice and strong as well, balancing those muscles. So I'm going to have this block right at the middle back. I'm just kind of rest back on it, a little bit of a heart opener here. So I find that space where it's a little bit comfortable. I have a bend into my knees and I'm going to interlace my hands behind the head, elbows out. And we're just going to take 15 gentle crunches here, getting more of an opening into the upper back as well as strengthening through the core. So you're going to come up on the exhale, 15, 14, 13. If you don't have a block, go ahead and just do the regular crunches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, navel to spine, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. If you have the block, feel free to just lay over it for a moment. You might get a little snap, crackle, pop in that upper back. Feels really nice, for me at least. And then we'll go ahead, use the strength of the core to come all the way up. All right, so we're going to come into tabletop position, hands and knees. Finding your tabletop, we're going to spread those fingers wide, and we're going to come into our cat and cow. So we're going to go ahead and inhale, bring the head and the heart forward. And then exhale, draw the navel to spine and round through the upper back. Continuing with your breath here. Full inhalation and exhalation. We're going to do 1 more round in this variation here. Just beginning to bring a linking of our breath with movement, creating a little more space in the spine. And then we're going to come into neutral tabletop. We're going to take cat and cow on the forearms. So we're going to go ahead and come down onto the forearms. They're like number 11s in front of you. You're going to keep the hips high. You're going to gently engage that core, and you're just going to isolate through that thoracic spine, that upper back. So you're going to go ahead and inhale, heart forward. Exhale, rounding through the upper back. So finding that it's a gentle, small movement. Inhaling and exhaling. You don't want to strain too much with the neck, so feel free to gaze down the whole entire time. We're going to do 3 more rounds here, really bringing some opening into that upper back that is usually tight for all of us. We don't get a lot of mobility into the thoracic spine. 1 more full round. Nice job. Returning back to classic tabletop position. We're going to take extended tabletop from here. So we're going to inhale the right leg up and back, a nice flex into the foot, and you're dropping down with that right hip. So you have a nice neutral pelvis. I want you to imagine the inner thigh of that right thigh reaching towards the sky a little bit more, and then lengthen the tailbone towards that right heel. Feel the core engage. Root through the right hand. Left arm's going to come forward, thumb to the sky. So you're hugging everything into midline. You're rooting that right hand into the mat, continuing to engage your core, working the strength of our spine. 1 more full breath here. And then at the same time, left hand and right knee are going to come down. Good work. We're going to take that to the other side. We're going to inhale the left leg up and back, a flex into the foot, which means the toes pointing towards the mat. Left thigh drops down a little bit more. You're hugging in with that right thigh and hip. Inner thigh of left thigh reaches a little more to the sky. Then the tailbone lengthens towards that left heel. We're going to go ahead and root through the left hand. Right arm forward, thumb to the sky. Keep all those engagements, rooting that left hand into the mat, lengthening through the back of the neck, strong core, strong spine. 1 more full breath. And at the same time, right hand and left knee will come to the mat. We're going to take shoulder thread the needle to open up a little bit more into that upper back. So we're going to go ahead and inhale the left arm out to the side. We're going to thread it through the right and bring that left ear cheek down to the mat. We're going to take the right arm a little more forward here, dropping through the right shoulder. Get a nice opening into the right shoulder as well as that left outer arm. 1 more full breath. We're going to gently walk that right hand underneath the shoulder. Inhale back up. Left hand will come back. We'll take that to the other side. So we're going to go ahead and take that right arm out to the side. We're going to thread it through the left. Right cheek, ear, temple, come to the mat. And then the left arm walks a little more forward, dropping down through that left shoulder. 2 more deep breaths. We'll gently walk that left hand back under the shoulder. Inhale on up. Good work. Puppy dog pose. The hips are going to stay high over the knees. Both hands are going to reach forward, and the forehead reaches down towards the mat or a block if you need it. So get a beautiful opening into your upper back, and then I want you to really engage the arms. Maybe coming onto the fingertips help you to do that. So really turn on the triceps, the upper outer arms, and those biceps are leaning a little bit more towards the ears or the ceiling sky. 1 more deep full breath, strong arms opening up through the back. And then we'll go ahead and inhale, walk the hands back, preparing for downward facing dog. Tucking the toes under, fingers spread wide. Exhale, the hips are going to come up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So I want you to push the hands down and away like you're trying to push the hands forward. Tops of the thighs are pressing back and up. Nice job, lengthening through the spine. Then those front ribs are going to hug in. You have the head between the arms, and those triceps are really turning on. Rooting solid through the hands, especially the index finger and thumb area of the hand, pushing into those knuckles. Nice length here through the spine. Find a nice downward facing dog. We're going to place a generous bend into the left knee, grounding the right heel more down into the mat. Feel a nice stretch somewhere in your right leg. Another deep inhale. And exhale. We're going to go ahead and switch. Place a generous bend into the right knee. Left heel grounds down. Full, complete breaths. One more breath. Grounding the right heel down to meet the left. Find a solid downward facing dog. We're going to inhale into plank pose. So slow and mindful. Transition to your plank. Feel free to always drop down to your knees if you need to. So we're holding plank here, building strength. So I want you to feel the inner thighs drawing towards the sky and feel how the butt wants to lift up a little bit. Then lengthen the tailbone towards the heels and then find the engagement of that lower belly, bringing balance to that. You're pressing the hands into the mat. Energetically, the wrists draw back towards the toes, turning on your side bodies, the serratus anterior. Relax through the face and the jaw. One more full breath. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good work. We're going to do 2 more plank holds. So inhaling into plank. Feel the inner thighs drawing a little more to the sky. Tailbone lengthens towards the heels. Pressing the hands into the mat. Shoulder heads draw back. Energetically, the wrists draw back towards the feet. Long line of energy from crown of the head through the heels. So feel the lengthening through the back of the neck. One more breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. So good to build the strength in our body and our core. Inhaling one more round, plank pose. Again, you can always come to the knees if this is too much. So everything we've mentioned, inner thighs drawing up, tailbone lengthening towards the heels, pressing into the hands, shoulder heads draw back, wrist energetically draw back towards the toes. Feel yourself sucking the belly in, cinching in through the waist. Long line of energy, crown of the head through the heels. One more full breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to take the feet as wide as the mat, and we're going to walk our hands halfway back, preparing for down dog twist. We're going to take the left hand on the outside of the right ankle or shin or calf, and then keeping that pelvis and lower back neutral, you're going to take the gaze underneath the right armpit if that feels good for you. So you're in control of how much you twist here. It can be a little or a lot. Should feel good though. One more full breath on this side. You're going to release the left hand back to center. The right hand will reach for the left ankle or shin and then begin to twist to your comfort level here. Full, complete breaths. One more breath. Walking the right hand back. We're going to walk the hands towards the feet. You're going to heel toe the feet in together to comfort. A bend into the knees, hands to the hips on the next inhale. With a flat back, you're going to come up to standing. Good job. So you're going to make your way to about the middle of the mat here. We're going to come into our half sun salutations, and we're really going to focus on the arms today. So I want you to imagine that you're in a jar of honey. It's really sticky and thick, and you want to move your hands in and through the honey. So finding Tadasana. And finding that core engagement here. So you're cinching in the waist and the belly. Inner thighs are drawing back, and then the tailbone lengthens towards the heels. Nice job. Nice length through the back of the neck. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead like you're going through that honey. Finding at the top. And then exhale, forward fold at the hip crease and really engage those arms, pushing them through the honey all the way down. We're going to inhale for our half lift. Hands to the outsides of the shins so you don't hyperextend. And then exhale, fold. Rooting through the feet, you're going to sweep the arms strongly up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, those front ribs hug in. So 2 more rounds like that. Inhaling, strong arms bring you up. Exhale, push through that, honey. Lead with the heart, coming all the way down. Inhaling for your half lift. And exhale, fold. Root through the feet, strong arms bring you all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more full round here. Inhaling, use those arms. Exhale, lead with the heart, forward fold. Tops of the thighs, press back. Inhaling, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, broaden through the collarbones. Exhale, fold. Root through the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll add on here. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling for your half lift. Exhale, plant the hands. We're going to take the right leg back. We're gently going to release the right knee to the mat, and if you have blocks, you're going to bring them into the inside of the left foot, preparing for a low lunge lizard. So you're going to go ahead and adjust your stance here. If you need more stretch, that right leg will come back. And then if you can stay exactly where you're at, being mindful of the front knee as well, or you can come down onto the forearms. I'm going to give you an option of a quad stretch here. Works for some bodies and not others. Sometimes you can get a little Charlie horse in the hamstring, so I don't want you to do that. I want you to listen to the body and see what feels best for you. So if you're in that low lunge lizard and want to take the quad stretch, I like to root through that right forearm, place a bend into the right knee, see how my hamstring feels. If things are going well, I'm going to take that left arm back and reach for the foot, drawing it closer to the glutes. So you get a little twist here, a little stretch into that right quadricep in front of the leg. Wherever you're at, 1 more full breath. If you have the foot, you definitely want to release gently. You don't want to slingshot. Be mindful of that back knee. And then we'll go ahead and transition into half split, Ardha Hanuman. I'm going to bring a nice flex into my left foot. I have a little micro bend into my left knee. I'm going to take a nice deep inhale. I'm going to pitch forward over my leg, and I'm going to really root that heel in the mat and energetically draw that heel back towards my left glute. So I'm feeling my hamstring really getting a beautiful stretch here. Soften through the face and the shoulders. Let the stretch happen in the back of the leg. 1 more full breath. And then we're going to inhale on up. And I'm going to have you hover that foot. So we're going to lift it a couple inches off the mat. So we're strengthening that quadricep and hip flexor here. 2 more full breaths. You got this. Building strength and stretch in our class. Good work. We'll bring the heel down. We're going to place a bend into the knees, transitioning back into low lunge. From low lunge, we're going to take 3-legged downward facing dog. So that left leg is going to come up and back, 3-legged down dog. You have a neutral hip here. So again, the inner thigh of that left leg is reaching a little bit more to the sky, tailbone lengthening back. I'm going to have you place a bend into the knee. You're keeping the neutral hip. It's not an open hip. And then bring that left bottom of the foot to the sky, knee to the sky. So feel a nice opening, again, into the hip flexor and the quad there. Hug in with that right thigh and hip. 1 more full breath. And then we'll straighten through the left leg. Come back to downward facing dog. We'll inhale into plank pose. Feel free to drop to the knees if you need. We're going to exhale through chaturanga all the way to the mat. Root through the tops of the feet, kneecaps lift, elbows hug in, inhale, low cobra. Exhale down, tuck the toes, lift strong through half or full plank. Tops of the thighs draw you back. Downward facing dog. Complete breath in downward facing dog. We're going to float the right leg up and back. Three-legged dog. We're going to take that right foot up between the hands, low lunge. We're going to release the left knee down, coming into low lunge lizard on this side. So if you have the blocks, feel free to use them. Find a nice stretch for the front of that left leg. You can stay on the hands, or you can work your way down onto the forearms, and then I'll offer that quad stretch on this side if that works for your body. So if things are going well, that left knee is healthy, we'll place it into the left knee. Notice how the hamstring feels. If things are good, the right arm will reach back for the foot, drawing a little bit closer to the glutes. Couple of breaths here, getting a nice stretch into that left quadricep, the front of the leg. You can take a little twist here by drawing that right shoulder head back. And then we're gently going to release. Wherever you're at, we're going to transition on up into our Ardha Hanuman half split. We're going to flex into the right foot, nice upright spine, keeping space between the pelvis and the thigh. You're going to pitch forward, a little micro bend into the knee. So it doesn't take much to get that stretch in the hamstring. You don't really have to bow down too far. Root the heel into the mat, energetically draw that heel back towards the right glute. Soften through the face, the shoulders, the neck. Let the opening happen in the leg. And then we'll inhale on up, and then we'll strengthen the front of the leg by lifting the heel a few inches off of the mat. So feel that quad turn on, that hip flexor in the right thigh. Couple more breaths, you got this. Building that strength. And then we'll bring the heel down, returning back into our low lunge. You're going to lift the left knee off the mat. We're going to take three-legged downward facing dog. Right leg will come up and back. So you're going to hug in with the left thigh and hip. You have a neutral pelvis. Inner thigh of the right thigh reaching towards the sky. Tailbone lengthens towards the heels. And then you're going to go ahead and bend into the right knee, keeping the neutral hip and pelvis. You're going to take that right foot, knee a little bit more to the sky, hug in with that left thigh and hip. A lot of engagement here in the body. Push the hands down and away. One more full breath. We're going to straighten through the leg. Bring the foot to the mat, down dog. Inhaling into plank pose. Feel free to drop to the knees. We're going to exhale through chaturanga. Inhale for low cobra, upward facing dog, strong legs. Transitioning through plank if you're in low cobra. We're all going to take downward facing dog. Full complete inhale and exhale. We're going to bend into the knees. We're going to gaze forward. You're going to step or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root to the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. From here, we're going to take 2 classic rounds of Sun Salutation A. I'm going to be cueing stepping back. If you have a jump back practice, jump forward practice, or a handstand practice, please feel free to take that here. So we're going to go ahead and find Tadasana. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling for your half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, bend the knees. The right leg will come back, followed by the left. We're in plank pose or half if you come to the knees. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra, upward facing dog. If you're in low cobra, you'll transition through half or full plank. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. That left foot will come up between the hands, followed by the right. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, fold. Root to the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. We'll take that on the other side. Inhaling up, Urdhva Hasta. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. Left leg back this time. Followed by the right, plank pose. Exhale, through Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra, upward facing dog. Transitioning through half or full plank. We'll all come back in downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. That right foot will come up between the hands. Followed by the left. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, Uttanasana. Let the head go a little more. Root through the feet, sweep the arms all the way up. Urdhva Hasta in Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Samasti Tihi. Nice job. From here, we're going to be adding on. I'm just going to step back a bit on my mat to make it work in this space that I have. We're going to inhale into Utkatasana, fierce pose. So you're squatting down. Arms are strong above you here. You can even find a little bit of back bend into that upper back. Then the frontal hip points lift. It's similar as the tailbone lengthening down. Shins shift back in space. Squat down a little bit more. One more full breath. You got this. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhaling for your half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands. We're going to take the right leg back. We're going to prepare for Crescent Pose slowly. So you're up on the back toes. You're hugging the legs together like scissors. Left thigh is drawing back and in. We're going to take the hands a couple inches off the mat. So allow the shoulders to draw back. Lead with that heart. Then the arms are going to come by the ears. You're really engaging everything here. Hugging into midline. And then inhaling the arms up and overhead. Anjaneyasana. So the inner thigh of that right thigh is drawing back. So feel that action there. Tailbone lengthen down and then lengthen through the back of the neck. You're going to keep a nice bend into that front knee. Left thigh drawing back and in. We're going to take eagle arms here. So the arms are going to, right arm's going to come underneath the left. If that doesn't work for you, you can hold on to your shoulders. So finding that opening into your thoracic spine. Find that nice spot for your elbows. You can kind of play with it here. Find a point of focus. One more full breath, and then we're going to be transitioning into Virabhadrasana 3 with our eagle arms. If you need to release the arms to find balance, please do so. So we're going to shift and lift. Right leg comes up. Neutral pelvis. Hugging in with that left thigh and hip. Inner thigh of the right thigh to the sky. Lengthen tailbone towards the heel. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Beautiful job. Good work, everybody. Strong pose. We're going to take full eagle pose now. Right leg's going to wrap around. You can either toe tap, wrap once or twice around that calf. Once you have a nice positioning for yourself, you're going to squat down. You want to be the shortest person in the room with the longest spine. You want to hug the arms together. You want to hug the legs together. A lot of work happening in this posture as we constrict the blood flow to many areas of the body, and then it'll release when we come out of the pose. One more full breath. We're going to come back the way we came. So we're going to unwind, taking the legs straight back for Warrior 3. Inner thigh draws to the sky. Hug in with that left thigh and hip. Tailbone lengthens towards the heel. With grace, you're going to bring that right leg back. Crescent pose. Keep the arms. One more breath. And then you're going to release the arms to the sky and feel how good they feel. Good work, everybody. We'll take the hands to the mat. We're going to find three-legged downward facing dog. Left leg's going to come to the sky. You're going to bend into that knee. Keep the neutral pelvis. You're going to allow that knee to draw a little bit farther to the sky, pushing the hands away. And then straighten through the leg, downward facing dog. You're welcome to stay here or take a Ardha Vinyasa. Inhaling into plank. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra, upward facing dog. If you're in low cobra, you'll transition through plank. We'll all return to Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Full, complete breath here. Feel your body. Feel the difference from right and left. On your next inhale, we're going to float the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. We're going to take the right knee in towards the nose and the right foot up between the hands, preparing for Crescent Pose slowly. So really hugging those legs in together. We're going to lift the hands a couple inches off of the mat. Right thigh is drawing back and in. Strong core and legs here. The arms are going to come forward. Using everything you got, hugging into midline, coming up into Anjaneyasana. So, inner thigh of left leg, drawing back. Tailbone lengthens down, keeping a generous bend into the front knee. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Right thigh is hugging back and in. Finding eagle arms on this side, we're going to take the left arm underneath the right, or you can grab opposite shoulders. So again, moving around with those elbows, seeing where you find the most comfortable opening position for you. And then we're going to be shifting and lifting into Warrior 3. Flex into that left foot. Inner thigh towards the sky. Tailbone lengthens towards the heel. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Hug in with that right thigh and hip. Good, good work. So much work in this posture. Strong body. One more breath. And we're going to go ahead and take full eagle pose, Garudasana. So you can toe tap. You can wrap once or twice. Once you have where you want to be, you're going to squat down. Hug the legs together, hug the arms together. Again, shortest person in the room with the longest spine. Find a point of focus and breathe. Feel the pose. One more breath. I'm going to go ahead and release the leg, returning back to Warrior 3. Lead with that inner thigh. Let it draw towards the sky. Tailbone lengthening down. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Hug in with right thigh and hip. With grace and ease, reach that left leg back into Anjaneyasana. Good work. Hold the arms, one more breath. And release all the way to the sky. Amazing. Feel the freedom here. We'll take the hands to the mat. We're going to take the right leg up and back, three-legged downward facing dog. Keep the neutral pelvis, hug in with the left thigh and hip. Bend into the knee. Bring the foot and knee a little more to the sky. Push the hands away. Straighten through the leg. Bring the leg back down. Working through our Ardha Vinyasa or staying in downward facing dog. Inhaling into plank pose. Exhale through chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra or upward facing dog. Strong legs, strong arms. Transitioning to plank if you need. And then coming to down dog. Full deep inhale. And complete exhale. Another full breath. All right, everyone, we're going to come into plank pose. If you need to come to half plank, drop to the knees. We're going to do a slow count of 5 to the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So good. Taking Sphinx pose. Both arms are going to come forward like the number 11s. The feet come a little bit wider than hip width distance. So same actions here. Inner thighs draw a little more to the ceiling or the sky, and then tailbone lengthens down towards the heels. You feel the glutes turn on a little bit and the pubic bone root into the mat. And now work the upper back. Draw the shoulder blades through the chest. Broaden through the collarbones, and then find a comfortable place to gaze. Sphinx pose. So we're going to add a little play into this and do 3 rounds of lion's breath. It's a great way to release energy. It's a great way to relax the jaw and the face. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale in, stick the tongue out and go, 2 more rounds like that. Nice deep inhale in. Let me hear you. 1 more full breath. Tongue out. Good work. All right, so from here we're going to come into forearm plank. I'm going to tuck my toes under. I'm going to lift into forearm plank, just holding for a second or 2, just feeling those same actions as the inner thigh. Draw to the sky, tailbone lengthens towards the heel, and then I lengthen through the neck. And then we're going to come into dolphin from here. So we're going to walk our feet up like we're coming into a down dog, but we're on our forearms. Let the head go if you can. If you have shorter arms, sometimes the head naturally wants to ground, so just try to find a little freedom there. And then we're going to float the right leg up and back to the sky, 3-legged dolphin. Hug in with the left thigh and hip, inner thigh to the sky. We'll bring the right foot down. Inhale, left leg to the sky, inner thigh draws up, tailbone lengthens back. Hug in with right thigh and hip, 1 more full breath. And then we'll bring that left foot to the mat. We're going to gently drop to our knees for a child's pose. Knees as wide as the mat. Big toes touch. Allow yourself to rest. So balancing activity with rest. Work and play. Effort and return to center. Relax everything here. 1 more full breath. And then we'll go ahead and slowly return on up. We're going to be coming into a fun pose. It's baby crow, Bala Konasana. So I often find this a little more challenging than classic crow or crane pose. Finding that arm balance. This one's a little more challenging for me, just staying lower to the ground. So we'll just play with that for a little bit. The option here is Balasana squat if you're not wanting to try this pose. So we're going to go ahead and come into our Balasana squat. All right, fixing my cord. All right, so finding your squat here. So feet can come out or stay in, whatever feels best. Feel free to sit on a block. If the heels are lifted up, can bring a blanket or a towel underneath the heels. So, baby crow, Bala Konasana, is pretty much crow on the forearms. So I'm going to be taking my forearms to the mat. Feel free to play here or just stay and watch if you'd like. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knees into the back of my triceps like I would do in classic crow. And then I'm going to lean forward. And then I'm going to try to lift one toe and then the other, and this is baby crow. Bala Konasana, so feel free to try that or not. Again, a lower to the ground variation for sure. And then when you're done, you'll come back to Balasana squat, releasing the lower back. So give that a go. It's a maybe, maybe not. A lot of that also depends length of the arms in ratio with the rest of the body as well. So be mindful of that. We only have control of so much. All right, from here, we're going to return to standing from our squat. So go ahead and come on up. We're going to be taking our mats to the wall for the remainder of class. So finding that wall, bringing your propping with you. All right. So our first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to give you the option of a variation of a headstand, supported headstand. So if headstand is in your practice already and there's nothing contraindicating that you can do it, you can try that with me. The option I'm going to give you is dolphin pose with the interlaced hands. We just did dolphin with the number 11 arms, and now we can do it with this. So we're all going to come into that shape. We're going to come down onto our mats. And we're going to interlace our fingers. And I like to have one pinky inside so that I have a flat surface with my hands here. And so we're all going to bring our, those that are doing headstand, we'll bring the head to the mat. Those that are doing dolphin, you'll go ahead and come up into that dolphin shape. You can hold for strength, or you can lift one leg up and then the other leg. There you go. And actually, I'm going to give you a different option too. If you take that one leg up, feel free to bend into the knee, lifting the knee up, just like we've been doing in our flow. So that'll give you a little more variety into the dolphin. Now, if you're headstanding, you're going to go ahead and ground the head down. You're going to come up slow and controlled. So if you're in that dolphin shape, make sure you do both legs, and you can bend through both knees as you get them up to the sky. Now, if you're solid in your headstand, I'm going to give you a fun variation. So I want you to imagine those inner thighs drawing back, tailbone lengthening towards the heels. You're just going to separate your feet just a tad. And then you're going to bend into your knees like hero's pose, Virasana, in your headstand. Slow and controlled, really rooted into the forearms. So just play with that. See how that feels in your body. A little playful variation of Salamba Shirsasana. One more full breath, wherever you're at. If you have the bent knees, very mindfully coming back to your classic headstand. And then slow and controlled, piking or coming down with the knees towards the chest. Good work, everybody. Wherever you're at, we're all going to take a downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under. You can pedal out the feet. You can nod the head gently. Yes and no. Great way to release the neck. Gentle nod, yes. Gentle nod, no. Good job. All right, so we'll all come down to the knees. For our next round of play, we're going to be working Pincha Mayurasana, feathered peacock, or Ardha Pincha Mayurasana, half feathered peacock. I'm going to be using a block for this posture. Everybody has a little bit of different carrying angle in their arms. If you want to bring your arms out to your sides, some people's arms are really close to the body naturally, and others have more of that angle out, and you can really see different extremes with different people. So you can see I do have a bit of a carrying angle where my arms come out at a diagonal. Because of that, when I come into forearm poses, it's a little more challenging for me with that angle, whereas those that have the arms closer to the legs, a little bit easier to find that. So I find the block stabilizes my arms a little bit more. If you have super tight shoulders, sometimes the interlaced hands in Pincha Mayurasana or unheadstand is a nice option. Now, if you're not kicking all the way up into Pincha, you're going to be doing the Ardha variation of lifting one leg up and coming down, and lifting one leg up and coming down. So again, a beautiful strengthening pose for the shoulders. So I'm going to recommend for our first round that we take our block right up against the wall so you can get a feel of it. So your hands kind of come around like the letter L on both sides of the block. From here, we're going to be coming into our dolphin shapes. We're going to take the hips to the sky. And then we're going to walk our feet in as much as you can. So it's really nice if you can stack the shoulders over the elbows before you even try to get into the pose. So if you're taking the Ardha variation, you're going to take that one leg up. If you're trying to kick up, you're going to bend into the left knee and come up to the wall. Nice. So really root into the forearms here if you want to try to work away from the wall. Those actions that we've been working. Inner thighs draw back. Tailbone lengthens to the heels. If you're in that Ardha variation, you'll take the other leg up. Gaze between your arms. Beautiful work, everybody. Lengthen tailbone to heels. And then come on down. Nice job. Good work. Whatever you did, feel proud of yourself. It's a strong, strong pose, what we're doing. All right. So now we're going to play with Scorpion, Vrischikasana. So this is not a regular pose in my practice, but it's fun to play with. So my variation of Scorpion is not the deepest variation. You'll be able to look at different variations. Some people can get their toes to their heads. In my body, that's just not going to work. So I'm going to give you some options here. You may not even try it today, which is fine. I'm going to give you the option of strengthening a little bit more through Dolphin Push-Ups. So if you want to try Scorpion, just hold out for a second. I'm going to demo Dolphin Push-Ups just to build a little more strength. We're going to be doing 2 rounds of Scorpion just to try to feel it in our body. So those of you that are going to do Dolphin Push-Ups, your first set will be Dolphin Push-Ups, and then I'm going to give you a super yummy forward fold at the wall for your second round while we work the second round of Scorpion. So Dolphin Push-Ups, you're going to find the interlace in the hands, and you're going to find a shortened forearm plank. So I find my toes a little bit in. And then you're going to just find forearm plank and then lift the butt up, finding these Dolphin Push-Ups. So again, a great way to strengthen through the shoulders. So you can do as many of those as you'd like. You can watch as well. So that would be your strengthening option. For those trying Scorpion, I recommend taking the block about a foot away from the wall. You still have the wall there, so your toes can touch. So we're going to be coming into our feathered peacock, Pincha Mayurasana, and then we're going to try to walk the toes down. So you're going to bend into the knees, similar to what we did in our headstand, and bring the toes. You can even keep the toes at the wall and kind of walk them down or try to float away. So again, who knows what it's going to end up like, but we're having fun and we're playing. It's really good for us. So I'm going to go ahead and use my block. You do not have to use the block if you don't want to. So we're going to go ahead and come into our Pincha Mayurasana first. And this time I'm going to try to kick up with the other leg. So I'm going to take my left leg up. I'm going to bend into that right leg and kick up. So I have my toes to the wall. I'm going to try to find my Pincha first, just to find that balance, rooting through my forearms, coming on up. Then I'm going to separate my legs and bend into them. Now ideally, you bring the big toes together and the knees kind of come farther out. And then you round into the upper back. So you bring the heart forward. And then I come down. So again, that was my variation for today. It is not the deepest variation. But you know what? It's fun and I have a good time doing it. So just play with it and just know that you can walk the toes just down the wall. You never have to find that balance in the pose. All right, those of you that have done some Dolphin Push-Ups have done a lot of work. So I'm going to demonstrate a nice forward fold for you. So you're going to come to standing. The rest of us will try that Scorpion one more time. You're going to take your feet about mat width distance. You're going to bring the hands down, and then you're going to bring your back to the wall. So again, if you're not going to come upside down again, this is your pose here. It's an inversion, but it's so nice. I'm pushing my back against the wall. I'm going to clasp opposite elbows and let myself hang. Feels really, really nice. You can hold here for a minute or two, and to come out, you would bring the hands down, walk back, and then you would ground your forehead to the wall just to get a sense of grounding. So that is your option if you're not coming into the second round of Scorpion. All right, so here we go again. So again, my block's about a foot away, so I have space to bend my knees and bring the toes to the wall. I'm going to find my dolphin here, and then I'm going to kick up with the right foot this time, alternating to build strength on both sides. So finding my Pincha. Again, feel free to just walk the toes down and try that. Root through the forearms. Then I'm going to bend into my knees. I'm going to really try to bring my heart more forward towards the block. If you can, you'll be coming back to Pincha before coming down. Breathe. Coming on up and down. Everybody making their way into child's pose. Again, a fun pose. Not my favorite, not one I practice all the time, but it's fun to play with. So for this child's pose, knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. I'm going to take my arms into my hamstrings just to release my shoulders a little bit more. 5 full breaths. Letting go of activity and effort, finding rest and return to center. Playfulness, giving or expressing pleasure and amusement, lightheartedness. Can you be lighthearted in your practice? We're going to gently arise, coming on up. We're going to be transitioning onto our backs. So we worked a lot through the spine. We're going to strengthen the core a little bit more. We're going to be taking eagle crunches. So you're going to come down onto your backs. Make sure you have a block nearby if you have one. Maybe you take a full body stretch here. It just feels good. And then we're going to place a bend into the knees. We're going to go ahead and take eagle legs. So the right leg's going to cross over the left. You can hold on to opposite shoulders, or you can wrap the right arm underneath the left. So we're going to take 15 crunches here. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, full body stretch. These are great. These feel good for me. They don't hurt my low back, and I get to work in my core. We're going to switch sides. We're going to cross the left leg over the right. Find your equal wrap. You can hug opposite shoulders again, or you can take the left arm under the right. Lifting the shoulders off the mat, we're going to hug in 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Good work. Oh, yes. All right, so we've worked the core, so we're going to go back to the spine now. We're going to be taking bridge pose. We're going to go ahead, and we're not going to use a block in between the inner thighs, but I want you to feel that action of the inner thighs hugging in together. So find a comfortable hip width distance for the feet. The feet are planted down. We're going to start with robot arms today. So you're going to go ahead and just plant the triceps into the mat, fingertips facing towards the ceiling or the sky. Once you find that positioning, I want you to try to keep the head just gazing towards the sky now, keeping a space between chin and chest. We're going to inhale, lift up the hips and pelvis off of the mat. Really find that bridge in between the shoulder blades here. One more full breath. And we'll exhale, releasing vertebra by vertebra all the way down. All right, so we have 2 more here. You're welcome to take 2 more bridge poses, and you're welcome to take the hands underneath the lower back to get a little more lift onto the shoulder heads. The other option is Ardha Konasana, upward facing bow, if that is in your practice. I'm going to encourage you to take that today and play with lifting one leg to the sky. So Ekapada, Ardha Konasana. If that's not in your practice, you can take bridge pose. Completely wonderful in itself. So we're all going to start with bridge, lifting up. If you want to take the hands underneath the back, you can. If you're working into Ardha Konasana, I really want you to be mindful with your body here. The arms, the hands will come back towards the ears. You'll lift up onto the head and then lift all the way up. From here, you can keep the heels down or you can lift them if you need that in your body. If you want to play with Ekapada,
Really root to that left foot. Lift the right leg to the sky. And then we'll bring that leg down. And then we'll return all the way down. We'll do one more round for that other leg. So you can take a full body stretch or just stay steady here. So one more round, either bridge or Ekapada, Urdhva Dhanurasana, or just regular Urdhva Dhanurasana. One more breath here. We'll all begin in bridge. So you're going to go ahead and lift up hips and pelvis, sternum lifting. If you're taking Urdhva Dhanurasana, hands by the ears, coming onto the top of the head and lifting up, strong body. Hugging in with those inner thighs. Tailbone lengthening towards the heels. Rooting through the right foot this time. If you want to lift that left leg to the sky. Push into the hands. One more full breath. Gently returning, vertebra by vertebra, all the way down. Good work, everybody. Full body stretch. Finding your block for supported bridge pose. We're going to gently lift up the hips and pelvis. Bring the block underneath the lower back. Feels so good. So options here to stay exactly how we are. Or you can lift one leg forward for a hip flexor psoas release. Or if you have a healthy low back, you can try both legs forward. Last option is taking legs to the sky for supported shoulder stand. So I like to elevate a level for that. Bring the legs to the sky. Lots of options here. I'm going to spend about another minute here, so decide where you want to hang and hold it. Tuning into your breath, smooth and steady and balanced. Trying to find that equal part breath. Sama Vritti. I'm thinking about playfulness. When's the last time you really played and had fun? Or maybe there's a memory that you have in your mind of a time that you were really lighthearted and free. Inviting that more into your life. Three more full breaths. More gently, wherever you're at, you're going to place a bend into the knees. If you have the block at a higher level, you'll bring it down to the flat level. And we're gently going to lift up the hips, release the block. We're going to come into a nice occipital release for the back of the head and neck. It's really nice after this kind of a practice. So I'm going to bring the blade of the block right where my head and neck connect. I'm going to hold on to it to where I find support. And then we're going to rock gently back and forth onto the block. There's a lot of tight spots in our occipital region of the head and neck. So just massaging that, giving it some TLC feels really, really nice. If you find a really sensitive area, just feel free to hold it and just push in a little bit more. It's a nice release I find for my jaw and sinuses. Sometimes you get a nice release in your sinuses with this technique. A few more breaths here. And then we'll gently release that. And just pausing the head down, feeling the effects of that. Hugging the knees into the chest. Reaching for the outside edges of the feet, coming into Happy Baby, Ananda, Balasana. You can rock a little onto the lower back, just drawing the knees in towards the rib cage or the armpits. Feels really nice on the lower back. Trying to maintain that sacrum, that lower back on the mat. Just notice the difference in the pose. Then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana on our back here. Getting a little stretch into the inner thighs. And then taking the peace sign fingers around the big toes. We're going to open up the legs to comfort. So again, feel free to keep a bend in the knees, or you can take it straight out, getting a deeper stretch now into the inner thighs and a little bit into the outer hips. And then taking both legs to join at the top, we're going to flex and point through the hands and the feet. And then we're going to take some circular rotations outwardly 3 times and then inwardly 3 times. And then we're going to hug the knees in. You can transition onto your side, or we're going to rock up to seated. Our last pose before Shavasana is Supta Virasana, reclining hero's pose. If you have any knee issues, I don't recommend this posture, and I'm actually going to show you a restorative variation for those that have a harder time coming all the way back. So if this does not feel good in your body, just go ahead and transition into Shavasana now, just lying on your back. If you need support underneath your knees, you can use a rolled up towel or blanket. So Supta Virasana. So classically, the pose would look like this, and if you have it in your practice, feel free to take it. You would just go ahead and sit in between the feet, and you would slowly transition back onto forearms, and then possibly all the way onto your back, and then you can clasp opposite elbows at the top. So again, not for everybody, for sure. So I'm going to demonstrate an option with the bolster and a blanket, if you have it, for a restorative Supta Virasana. So if you have classic, feel free to take that. So I'm just going to bring some elevation to my bolster here to make it a little more comfortable. So I'm going to place a block at whatever height you need at the head of the bolster, maybe a blanket as a little pillow. And then finding your seat, not on the bolster, on the floor, and then coming on back. So again, it may not work for your body. It may work for your body. Just a nice way to open up through the front of the body, a pose we don't practice very often in our regular yoga classes. So being mindful again, notice what feels good for you. If you're in Supta Virasana, we're going to hold for another minute, and then we'll slide in to Shavasana. Full, complete breaths. Letting the body fully relax now. Maybe you feel sensations, and that's okay. Can you breathe through the sensations? Should never be any sharp pain. Sensations, okay. We learn to breathe through it. We learn to soften those rough edges. We learn to just say, heck, I'm not going to work right now. I'm going to take some time to play. I'm going to balance out my life, my activity and my rest, my effort and my return to center. What brings you joy? What brings a lightheartedness to your being. If you're in Supta Virasana, 2 more deep full breaths. If you're in Supta Virasana, we're slowly going to transition back up. Be mindful. You're going to release the legs and transition into Shavasana. I have my bolster today, so I'm going to use it underneath my knees. Settling into our final resting pose. And on a 10 count here, I want you to consciously relax areas of the body that are still gripping or holding. Scan from head to toe. And now let go of the body. Let it melt into the floor. Let the physical body rest. Let the mental body rest. Let the energetic body take over. Shavasana.
You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. You're ready to transition. Just noticing the breath, your breath of life flowing freely. Each breath a purpose. Bringing some gentle movement to fingers and toes, maybe rocking the head gently side to side. If it feels good, you can take a full body stretch. When you're ready, we're going to be placing a bend into the knees, transitioning into a fetal position on either side. And just noticing the effects of the practice. Notice how you feel. Honoring any intentions you've set today, recalling them to mind. Keeping this theme and intention of balancing out our work and play, our activity and rest, our effort and return to center. We'll use the strength of the arms to transition into a comfortable seat. Once you find that comfortable seat, just allowing the eyes to close, drawing the hands to heart center for a few breaths. It's always an honor and pleasure to guide you through your practice. Thank you for sharing your beautiful presence with me. From the light within me, I honor and respect the light within you. Walk in grace and peace and shine bright, my friend. Much love and namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me today. Feel free to stay connected with me on my website, loveserveinspire.com.